Good evening. Welcome to the October 2025 Seminole County Board of Adjustment meeting. Before I go through the chairman's opening statement, I just want to make a quick statement to our larger community. We lost a great man, Larry Dale, passing, and if any of his friends or family are present or watching on TV, our hearts go out to them. He was a great man, and he'll be missed. Moving on to our meeting tonight, for those of you in the audience who have not attended one of these meetings before, let me just briefly share with you our normal procedures. As we move down the agenda, staff will introduce each item for consideration. If you'd like to speak on, for, or against a matter, and you're not the applicant, there are forms out in the lobby that you will need to fill out before you can speak, and after you fill it out, please hand it to the clerk. The applicant and the applicant's supporters and counsel will be heard first. Those in opposition to the request will be heard next. If necessary, the applicant will be given a chance for rebuttal. Comments should be restricted to the pertinent zoning and land use matter before the board tonight. Homeowners Association issues are irrelevant to what we're doing tonight. How people get along with each other or don't like each other is irrelevant to what we're discussing tonight. So let's keep it businesslike. If you are an individual and you're not the applicant, you'll have 3 minutes for your comments. And if you're speaking on behalf of a group, you'll have 6 minutes. And speakers should move closer to the podium when the item is being presented by staff. Also, speakers should identify themselves clearly, and we will need your home address for the record. Don't be surprised. We may ask questions of staff or of any person who comes up to speak. That's just part of it. But nobody else may ask questions. Information that you might want to share, we have a viewer over there, will be kept as part of the record. If you've got something on a digital device, we can accommodate that, but we ask you do please send us copies of that after the meeting. I'll then ask the board for a motion. Once a motion has been made and seconded, discussion from the floor will be closed. Following board discussion, a vote will be taken. During voting, board members who do not cast objecting motions are deemed to have voted in support of the motion. And lastly, if you are not happy with the decision of this board, heaven forfend, there is a process to appeal it to the Board of County Commissioners, and after the meeting, staff can help you with that process. So having said that, number one, please.
Number one, Kathy Hamill, Development Services. I'm presenting item number one. It is a request to allow a swimming pool to be placed in a front yard and to project 8 feet in front of the principal residence at 601 Lakeshore Drive, located in the Oakland Shores subdivision. The property is a corner lot in which there are 2 front yards that abut the roadway. The pool meets the 25-foot front yard setbacks along Lakeshore Drive and Magnolia Drive, but extends 8 feet beyond the principal structure. Our code section 30.7.2.4 prohibits pools or other accessory structures from being located closer to the front lot line than the principal structure. This variance is to allow for a pool to be located in the front yard and to extend 8 feet beyond the front of the residence. The home was constructed in 1956 and was orientated on the property as such would not allow a swimming pool without a variance. The applicants purchased the property in 2005, and this was the only available area on the property to place a pool. Due to this orientation of the home and the current driveway off of Magnolia, it would negate the ability to place a pool in the side or rear yard. The applicant submitted a permit and was approved to construct a pool. The applicants proceeded with the construction, but it was stopped when it was discovered that the pool was issued in error, and the work was stopped. I apologize, I just lost my...
Take your time.
Was error, and the variance would be required to allow the pool in the front yard and to project in front of the home. Staff finds that if the variance is denied, it would deprive the applicants of having a pool on their property, a common accessory structure with all single-family residences, especially in Florida. Denial of the variance would result in an unnecessary and undue hardship of the applicants. The applicants would be unable to have a swimming pool and would be left with a partially constructed pool on their property, posing safety issues for the residents and the surrounding neighborhood. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of the variance and has determined that the request meets the criteria for board approval. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, any questions for staff? Mr. Evans?
I've got one quick one. I know pools are always done through setbacks and things like that. Do we also have a minimum lot size that we require for pools?
No, we do not.
Okay, it's purely on setbacks? Okay, thank you.
Judge, any questions? Quick question, Madam Clerk. We have in our packet of stuff on this matter 2 petitions. Do we know who submitted those?
The applicant.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. With that, the applicant or their representative care to share something? Hi there, if you please share with us your name and address, sir.
I am Robbie Taylor, owner of the house at 601 Lakeshore Drive.
Please.
Basically, we're here today because obviously our backyard is not suitable for a swimming pool. So we, we're actually the pool builder as well. So we did all of our due diligence and, got our setbacks, got our permits, got started on this process, and then here we are now. So I'm trying to come here to get a variance to put the pool where it is now. It's mostly in the side yard. It's not, it's a little going out in the front yard a little bit, but it's mostly in the side yard. We're just trying to get a pool. So we have support of a lot of our neighbors. We discussed this with our neighbors about putting this pool in. There's not going to be any issues with, I got some stuff on my thumb drive, but the pool's going to be shedded by like a fence or some kind of foliage to basically hide it. So that's not going to be an issue of, me sitting outside in my bathing suit. Nobody's going to really see that. So that's the idea. We want our privacy. So we're definitely going to have something that's going to be blocking it. I'll just kind of put this one out that there is people do put pools and hardscapes around in the front yards and the side yards to kind of show you like what like something ours would be, having the bushes around it, and basically for the drainage, we do have a drainage system in the pool that's for an overflow that's not going to obviously drain into the streets. It's going to drain into our side retaining ditch, which basically will not affect anybody in the neighborhood because of the flooding. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this. So.
You're fine.
All right. So basically, I know some of the issues was people didn't want to see the pool. So as you can see, our drainage system for our house basically goes into a draining ditch, like right on the side of Magnolia. So if the pool drainage system is going to basically drain it into that ditch, so there's not going to be any issues with that. As we keep kind of going, my neighbor next to us on Magnolia, if somehow the water went in the driveway, it's going to go in his retaining ditch and go out into the lake like the rest of them do. Even across the street, the water is not going to be flooding or anywhere near their property because we took that precautionary matter to make sure that doesn't happen.
The pictures of the house and the lot on it.
Oh, can we, let's just, like the front of our yard, we have some photos of the front of the yard where you're not even gonna be able to see the pool. Like this one, I know the people across the street are worried about the view. As you can see, that you can't even see a pool under construction from those views. So we basically don't even have the full landscape around it. So it's definitely not going to be viewable for anybody that's walking by who lives near us or anything like that. So that was definitely one of our reasons why we had no choice to put it where we put it. But we'll basically put landscaping around it so nobody can see us. So we were issued a permit, we moved forward, and now we're kind of stuck. I got, open holes around my yard. My house is kind of caving in a couple of areas from the rain. It's pretty dangerous, having people come over because of the washout. So we're just concerned about safety and making sure nobody gets hurt on our property. We would like to move forward and try to get this pool shot, and so I can get this yard cleaned up. As you can see, like the only way to really see it was from a drone shot. So hopefully no one's going to be flying any drones over us while we're hanging out in our swimming pool. So. So that's like one of the renderings we could do with, like bushes and landscape. Same there. We have a different couple, issues that we're going to address to make sure that we do not expose, see anybody can see us in the pool, and that's one of our number one priorities. So I have the backing of all my neighbors around me, my left, my right. Everybody signed the petitions allowing us to do the pool. I have overwhelming signatures in the neighborhood. So the people are here are my neighbors. They're in our neighborhood and not outside neighborhood. So they're here to support us in trying to get this resolved.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, questions for the applicant? Mr. Evans? Judge? Sir, quick question.
Yes, sir.
And just to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, should it prove to be the discretion, the interest of this board, when a motion is brought, you would be okay with, and I'm talking hypothetically here because I don't know how these gentlemen are going to vote, but you would be okay with the approval being conditioned upon a fence and landscaping to
Absolutely.
screen and...
That is definitely going to happen because, like I said, we don't want to be out in our swimming pool and be exposed to neighbors or anything like that. We want our privacy, just like if my swimming pool is in my backyard. So that's definitely going to be taken care of. It's definitely going to have a fence, landscape, nice lighting. It's definitely going to be, I'm a pool builder, so, we build next level pools, so it's definitely going to be a next level project. So when you're a pool builder, everybody asks you what your pool looks like. This is the ideas of what I want to show them, that this is what we can do. So we'll definitely have some nice landscaping around it with a non-see-through fence.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Evans?
So that actually is more of a question for the county attorney.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Go ahead.
So I was waiting for discussion, but since you kind of beat me to it, assuming we decide to move forward with anything like that, making a contingency, is that something that, I know we could do it, but would we have to put in items within the motion for it must be X, Y, Z? Or could we, because that feels tricky.
Yeah, so whatever recommendation by the board, whatever condition established by the board would be by motion, and then that would be memorialized in the development DO. So as a condition for the variance, or the variance is conditioned on X, and that would be drafted into the approval development order.
Okay, so, assuming there was consensus on the board to move forward, it would be contingent on a 8-foot privacy fence, we would have to be specific to that degree?
Ideally, yes.
Okay, okay.
Excuse me, I do think we need to be mindful of the variances for the fence because
Sure.
Yeah.
right now they have a 4-foot open fence, which is allowed, but a 6-foot privacy fence may not meet the
Right.
setbacks.
And that's precisely why I wanted to ask.
Right, but we can require an opaque, we
We
have.
can massage language
Right.
up to that.
Beautiful.
At that point. But let's wait, let's go ahead and not go too far down that road, if you
Yeah.
forgive me, Judge, and get other folks' comments, and then when we have our motion, we close the floor. But let's make notes and definitely circle back to that. Anyone in the audience here to speak in support of the matter? Yes, ma'am, please come on down. Did you have a chance to fill out one of the forms?
I did,
All right, thank you. If you'd please share with us your name and address.
yes. My name is Sarah Robinson, and I have lived within Oakland Shores neighborhood at 544 Lake Faith Circle for nearly 15 years. Oakland Shores is a very family-friendly and dog-walking-friendly neighborhood filled with a sense of community. I am one who always finds enjoyment in seeing homeowners improve their home and property. When I'm coming and going from home or walking my dog, I pass by the Taylor's home at 601 Lakeshore Drive multiple times a day. I've always been impressed with the frequent improvements the Taylors have made to their home and yard over the years. These superb improvements certainly help the neighborhood keep home values at positive levels. I have confidence that this pool being built in their side yard will also be constructed with quality, safety, and beauty. But separately, I'm certain they will desire privacy in this new addition and will install appropriate landscaping and fencing to create and maintain that privacy. I fully support this project, and I'm excited for them to complete and enjoy this addition to their property.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I have forms filled out by folks speaking in support. So I have Commissioner Haran.
Thank you. John Haran, 1612 Wood Duck Drive, Winter Springs, Florida. The reason I got involved in this is I have a personal relationship with the father who used to be my law partner, Ed Foley and Lardner. And when I went out to the property yesterday, actually, braved the rains. And this is an older neighborhood. It was built in the 1950s. And the property is, the home kind of sits gully-wumpus, if that's a word, on the lot.
It is now.
On the lot. And basically, it's in the side yard. The property or the house is in the back of the lot. And probably you can't get approved for a subdivision these days. And they have small properties and so forth and so on. The investment, $200,000? Yeah. The investment in this pool and related facilities is $200,000 in value. It's not often that you have a neighborhood that has $200,000 in an improvement. So I would encourage you to grant this variance, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next person I have is Sarah Robinson, please. Oh, that was easy. Carl Hittinger. Give us, for the record, your name and address, please, sir.
Carl Hittinger, 510 Lakeshore Drive. I live catty corner across from the project. Good evening, Chairman and board members, and all my Oakland Shores neighbors as well. I've spent about 30 years in the real estate business. I've owned a couple of construction companies, and I can unequivocally say what a great neighborhood, one of Orlando's great neighborhoods, and I'm glad everybody came out tonight to hash this over. As someone who's directly affected by this, in fact, probably more than anybody else in the room, because I can see directly over to the project, and also having been involved with Robbie and Melissa Taylor over the years. They just finished a pool for us on my parents' property, which is also in the neighborhood right down the road. The quality of their product is amazing. They always do a very, very good job, and I have no doubts, after Robbie also shared the nature of the project with me, as to what it's going to look like when it's done. And he's very, very cognizant about the impact on the neighbors. So as someone directly affected, as I said, because I look right into that side yard from my house, they have my full support, and I think you'll find that they, in general, have the full support of most of the neighbors, and certainly most of the neighbors directly surrounding the property.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Fellas, let me know if you have a question for any of the speakers, otherwise I'll go through them.
Yes, sir.
I have Rick Anderson.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rick Anderson. I live at 621 Lakeshore, same street, but up and around the corner. And this has been a hubbub. This has been a hot topic in our neighborhood. And they call me the mayor because I walk around a lot and I know a lot of people. And 99% are on board with this project, including myself. We don't have an HOA and we love it. And there are a lot of things in our neighborhood that need attention. and this is not one of them. This is going to be an improvement, and I rode up here with a car full of people, and I know there's at least 9 or 10 people in the audience that live in our neighborhood, and they support the project. I only know of the plaintiffs that are not in support of the project. So I'm just here to voice my support. And also, I've recommended Next Level Pools for 3 of my best friends in different neighborhoods. Fantastic work, very professional, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end product.
If I might, sir.
Sir?
Seeing how we have the mayor, and no, every neighborhood's got a mayor, absolutely. Looking at, in your mind's eye, if you could think of your larger neighborhood from a bird's eye view, are there many lots or houses in your neighborhood who have funky lots setups like this one?
No.
Is this fairly inconsistent?
Yeah, he has literally no backyard. The position of this house, it would be the northwest quadrant of the property. I've been back there. There's room for a grill. There's room for some lawnmowers. and other than that, there's no backyard to this house. Everything is on the southeast side. So there's no other, if there's going to be a swimming pool, it's going to be on the roof or here.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
One of the things that comes to
Oh,
mind.
do you have a question for Judge?
No, I'll wait till we're done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else in the audience who would like to speak in support of the matter? Are you the applicant also, ma'am?
I'm also a homeowner, yes.
Okay. Have you filled out one of our forms?
I did.
Okay, good.
I was late.
If you tell us your name and address, please.
Yes, Melissa Taylor, 601 Lakeshore Drive.
Please.
Our lot is unique in our neighborhood. There are only 13 corner lots, and our home is set further back than the others. We have a larger side and front yard, which would allow us to have the setbacks to build a swimming pool. As far as setting a precedence, it's not going to be a concern in the neighborhood. And I believe that the board's decision doesn't set precedence
Correct.
as well, so just to note that. And I just wanted to be very clear that you will not be able to see this pool. You will not even know there's a pool there. There's going to be a fence or 100% opaque shrubbery if we're not allowed to do a fence. The fence will be closer up to the pool, though, so I think that we may be able to work with the county to do a higher fence. But of course, we will listen to the county, whatever they tell us about that. But it will be 100% not viewable from, we will sign something saying that as a condition of the permit. We'd be happy to. We want our privacy as well. Essentially, this will be enclosed. It'll be like an extension of our backyard. Due to the topography of our lot and the way it's set, our neighbors across the street who are opposing the variance cannot see where the pool will be from their home. When they walk out of the home, you can see some of the pictures from the slides when they had Fox 35 News come out. You can see when they're pointing the camera up, you can't see the pool at all from their home. There also will be, as I said, shrubbery, fencing. It'll be enclosed, so it won't be an issue even if they were to walk up to the top of the street. They will not be able to see the pool. They won't have to worry about seeing us outside in our bathing suits or anything like that. We are going to install an auto fill and drain on the pool to assist with drainage, but again, we have significant swales and drainage ditches in our neighborhood to accommodate any runoff if there were any from the pool. If we had a pool in our backyard, it would still drain over there to the side, so there wouldn't really be any difference there. We have the overwhelming support of our neighborhood. I only know of 2 homeowners in the neighborhood that are opposing. Other than that, we have significant amount of support in our neighborhood. We have such a wonderful neighborhood. This will increase the property value of the home. It's going to be a quality project. Our home right now is in jeopardy. The way the pool is dug, it's right up against the foundation of our house. Our home is exposed. We have a large hole with rebar sticking up, and to even get in our house, it's starting to, from the rains, it's starting to cave in. It's a danger. We have, delivery people, we have our dog, we have neighbors coming in our yard. It is screened off with the construction fencing, of course, but that's a safety fence. It's still a major open hole in our yard. We're concerned about storms coming through. We're concerned about our home. We're just, we acted in good faith on a permit and getting started. We have a lot of money invested already, and we're just really hopeful that we can obtain a variance so that we can move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now going to move on to those speaking in opposition. We have a member of the bar here, Mr. Sabatini. Would you like to go first? Yes. All right.
Before Mr. Sabatini speaks, just for the record, I just wanted to state that myself, as well as this board, are in receipt of Mr. Sabatini's letter via email. Just wanted to state that for the record.
Yeah, I'm seeing it for the first time tonight, but thank you. Yes, sir, please.
Gentlemen, good to see you. Anthony Sabatini. I represent Mr. Jason White, one of the neighbors who respectfully opposes the project. I think everybody loves to see a nice pool. The only problem is qualitatively, he has a really close shot of the pool. There's been a few news articles on this in the last couple of days. Fox 35 did a special on it. You're exactly right, Mr. Chairman. It is not a legal precedent if you pass this. But what it is it's sort of a qualitative mental precedent. There are plenty of parcels where people would say, hey, I can get a bigger and better pool if I move it to the side or the front of the house. And so they're going to be more willing to come before the board and ask for that. And it's harder for a board to say no when they've done it for a very special neighborhood. And there are many good, very special neighborhoods in which people will come forward and apply for. I've outlined a legal memo. We think legally, this is a project that should be denied. But really, it comes down to the subjective feeling of leaving the house across the street in which this pool will be apparent every single day. If anything, obviously we are requesting that you vote no, but if anything, please table the item to get a more full factual inquiry done in regards to how this pool will affect one of the neighbors. Because even if it's just one or two neighbors who are opposed to it, and of course there's at least 3 here tonight that I represent, but if it's just 2, that's a pretty significant effect on their daily experience, their lived experience coming out of that front yard each and every single day. And so by tabling it and going and looking and seeing how it feels each day when they leave their house could make the decision. Again, we respectfully oppose the project. I don't think it's anything, we totally sympathize with anybody that wants a bigger and better pool. And there's a few other things about the parcel which I think cut really against the argument that it's really a hardship property. There is a 16 square foot, more than that, 16 by 8, I believe, porch in the backyard. If that porch was modified, I believe that a pool could easily adequately take place in the backyard. If that didn't happen, it would be the only property with a pool in the front yard, not just in the neighborhood, but really, quite literally, as far as we know, in this whole part of the county. And it could obviously start a precedent of applications going forward. That's something that's very significant. I think that this board should really, obviously, trust that you'll do your due diligence and look to see how unique of a move that would be in putting the pool in the front yard. And then secondly, we'd really push back against this argument that it's really just on the side of the house. Yes, some of the pool is in the side of the house, but there is a large portion that is viewable from the front. And some of the speakers who come in after me, because I'll be very brief finishing up here, will show some of the photos of what it's like viewing it from certain angles and how unique I think it would be for this to receive a variance, because I've never seen anything like it myself. If you have any questions, I'll yield. If not, we have some other speakers.
I do have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
As you could before, as a member of the Florida Bar representing
Yes.
people, we're going to hold you to maybe a different standard, or at least I will.
That's fine with me, yes, sir.
You mentioned the idea of tabling it to do more fact-finding.
Yes, sir.
You're here representing somebody in a quasi-judicial hearing.
Yes,
Give
sir.
me facts. What facts?
The top 3 I outlined, Mr. Chairman.
What
Yes.
facts?
The top 3 that
Okay.
I would say. Number 1, the photos that you'll witness and that were sent to you that show a physical image of it being a bit invasive for somebody who's in their front yard. If you're sitting in your front yard, having your morning coffee, and there is people swimming, we would push back against the idea that the trees or any of this sort of, and I don't think they were really committed to, but the idea is that maybe some of these, there's possibly a screen that could be built that takes away the effect of a pool in the front yard. I think it's going to be very viewable. I mean, that's the number 1 fact. The number 2 fact I would say is that porch in the backyard that was constructed that could easily be modified to build a larger pool in the backyard. Those are the two.
If they modified that porch, how many net buildable square feet would be available in the
The
backyard?
map I saw showed at least 16 foot in length on one side.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you, I'm asking you.
Sure.
As a person making this point.
Of course.
How many net buildable square feet will be available in the backyard?
I don't have the exact number right now, no.
Right, because you're the person making the suggestion.
It's-
You know, and
yes,
if that's something
correct.
you want us to hang our hat on, you should tell me how many square feet that is.
Absolutely.
You know, 'cause then we
To
can
an
then bounce that
inch.
off of staff.
Unfortunately, I can't get it down to a foot or an inch, but we do know that the porch is there. It is, I believe, on the site plan, and clearly something
Is it
that's...
your argument that the net, whatever the net buildable area is, if that's taken down, is sufficient to meet the Seminole County Land Development Code space allotted for a pool?
If it was a smaller pool, yes. That Mr. Evans asked a great question, which is there something in the code that prevents a smaller pool? The answer, my understanding, is no, and therefore, no. To answer your question, a smaller pool would be...
But we don't know what those square feet are. I
The
mean,
exact
the size
foot,
of that
no, we
pool.
don't know the exact foot of the square foot. Again, the overwhelming point to be made is the qualitative feel for the neighbor viewing a pool in the front yard. That's the biggest takeaway here.
Two other questions, and I'll pass it along to the others. In looking at your letter of October 27th, that was delivered,
Today,
yes, just for the record, a phrase that you use repeatedly is the phrase, "the front yard." And work with me and share your thoughts on the fact that there isn't the front yard, because it's a corner lot. They've got two front yards for purposes of the code. Help me square those 2 points.
I think any piece of your yard that's viewable from the front is the front yard. So I would say it's the front yard. You see it, there's going to be a pool there. It's going to certainly affect the value of another home in the neighborhood. That is just something for you to consider, Mr. Chairman.
Gotcha. So you're saying front yard in the sense of traditional front yards, not how the Seminole County Land Development Code says a corner lot has two front
A
yards.
front yard in the mind of the average person, how they understand it, yes, that's correct.
Got you. And then in your third paragraph on page 2 of your letter, you discuss other similarly situated lots in the area. I think staff might be able to pull up a map there, but do you have the ability to point to some of those lots you're referring
I
to?
would say Mr. White's yard, is that what you mean?
No, sir, you say literal enforcement would deprive rights common to other properties. Literal enforcement of the code would not deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties. Other similarly situated lots in the area maintain pools, on and on and on. If you could, we've got a map there, can you show me which ones you're referring to?
Well, here's what I would say. Here's what I would tell you. The owner of the lot, who's before you today, the applicant, did express to people in the neighborhood that he was under the impression this was not a lot that was suitable for a pool. That's unique. That makes it a unique situation. And I think that's something that should be very strongly considered, correct?
I hear what you're saying, but I think
Yes.
the answer to my question is no.
Thank you for interpreting it that way.
Well, I mean,
I think we've made our argument respectfully.
All right.
It's all about the feel of the neighborhood. We think the feel is going to change. I think it's very difficult for anyone to look at this and say, this is going to feel like a very different neighborhood. Again, we respectfully oppose the project.
All right, so gentlemen, any other questions?
My concern is the main objection is a pool that would be in the back cannot be placed in the front, and that's the exception they're seeking. Are there any limitations in terms of measurements or distance or anything else?
It's this, primarily we're
Just
here
the view.
because of the setback. That is really the thing that prompted the hearing, is that they want to go, I believe, 8 feet into the setback. That's the actual issue that we take the most concern with, because you're going into a setback with a larger pool that's viewable from the street.
And the pictures that were shown by the owner pretty much showed that there was a barricade with trees and fences and other things. Would that not make a difference in the view of the neighbors?
Well, 2 thoughts on that. One, you've seen some photos which I believe, or possibly some of the best photos you can take from that angle. And of course, there's different angles you're going to get. There are 3 other speakers here today, one of which has photos. Some photos were already sent to the board that show, and of course, I would also point you to the Fox News report, which I think does show views that would qualitatively change the experience of living in the neighborhood in a negative way. But second of all, what I would say is that a smaller pool is possibly buildable in the backyard. There is nothing in the code that prevents a smaller pool that would not be, again, uniquely positioned in the neighborhood, or the only front lawn pool, and that's why
So
we
you're
oppose it.
proposing-
That's the only reason he opposes it, Mr.
You're
Right.
proposing a limitation of the use of the owner's property.
I believe it's actually the opposite. The owner is actually asking
No,
for a
you're
variance from what the
proposing
code is.
by-
Yeah.
By saying they can build a smaller pool in the back, you are now taking away the possible privilege with the exceptions of having a larger
To be
decorative
very,
pool. Excuse me,
yes.
I was a lawyer myself, so I understand the
You were a
urge
judge,
to
sir.
talk when somebody else is talking, but so as I said, smaller in the back, larger in the front, but you want to limit his ability to have a larger pool if the decor and if the others, and safety was mentioned and issues, and I have not heard anybody speak to that. Something about their dogs and safe, I don't know what the hell their dogs are doing in the pool anyway, other than walking down the street. So, but that's my concern.
Well, if I could answer it, I don't represent anyone who's asking for an exception or a reduction of the rights that a person is given under the code currently under the law. We're simply asking that the code be upheld. Variance board, of course, asking for a variance from the code, which makes sense in some situations. Our argument doesn't make sense in this situation. That's it. Your Honor.
Ever since I've been here, it seems like everything we do is dealing with exceptions to the code. So it's not unique that we're here in an exception. And that's what we're considering. And the impact of granting that exception to the other neighbors. And one was mentioned, drinking my coffee in the morning, having to look at a pool. And the pictures that he showed shows a complete barricade of bushes and trees, and perhaps we could discuss the nature of how we would protect that view to the other neighbors. Just a thought. I'm not a dictator.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely a fruitful discussion. We don't think, and of course, this is our first time, really, right, talking about this as a group. The applicant I represent, the petitioner, sort of, complainant that I represent in this instance, doesn't know anything about a proposed barricade. I mean, is it possible to have a proposed barricade? Sure, we would still oppose it. We don't think a barricade is sufficient for preserving the quality of the neighborhood. But what I would say is I believe that what you're referring to is a kind of a conceptual drawing. I think actually one of them was, AI generated, which I think is obviously a very good tool, but we don't know how accurate that would really be. We would oppose it for at least that reason. Also, the height restriction that was brought up. I don't think that you can bring it as high is necessary in order to really shield the visual.
All right, but the barricade, the trees, the shrubbery, the fences are not part of the application?
It's not a formal part of the application.
We can make it a condition of approval. And we probably phrase it like, in a way that meets the land development code.
We
something
have
like
in the
that.
past, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That answers my question.
Mr. Evans?
No, I'm still
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I have, the next form I have of folks speaking in opposition to the matter is Shelby Maddox. Ms. Maddox, if you could give us your address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Shelby Maddox. I'm at 627 Magnolia Drive. I live just a few houses down from the Taylors, 3 to be exact, and I'm on one of those rare, similarly situated lots that is with our house positioned in a very odd placement on our yard. My home is on a 4-way step along with 3 others that are also situated very similarly on our property. If this is approved, what is stopping myself or any of my similar neighbors in similar situations from seeking similar variances in the future? I know they have intentions of hardscaping with the plants and the barricade that was just mentioned, but what does that look like in the future? I know their intention is to grow them, to love them, and care for them, but what will happen to those plants? What will those look like in 5 years and 10 years? If they're here and we're all still here in 20 years, is that still going to be there, or are they going to have withered away and we're going to see their pool? Also, the idea of the house being barricaded, the image that brought to my mind just now was not a great one. I have young kids that live, as I said, in the neighborhood. It's a great family neighborhood. We've lived there for 13 years now, and I was concerned. The first reaction I had when I heard about this pool was the safety of my kids. Are they going to see the pool? Are they going to want to get through that fence? Is the fence wide enough that they could fit through it? Can they reach their hand around and unlatch the gate and just walk right in? I hope not. I hope I've taught my kids well and trained them to follow rules and procedures. But I just don't know that was the first instinct that I had. So I oppose this variance, and I respectfully oppose it, and hope that you do as well for those reasons. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question for her.
Oh, sir, Judge?
In response to your children reaching through the gate and unlocking it, and the hazard that may exist in that regard of your children not following your dictates and instructions, when they turn 16, are you going to give them a key to a car to drive?
I will, yes, sir.
Okay,
I agree.
rest my case.
I agree. I hope that I train them, and I hope that other families also teach their
That's
kids
the best you
those
can do.
things, but
The best you can do.
it is a concern.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, you're not done yet.
Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. So kind of to piggyback on his, you mentioned the fear of your children going through the gate, an attractive nuisance. May I presume that you feel this might be more of a concern because it's in the front yard versus the rear?
100%.
Okay. What would stop your child from going into a rear gate at this point to go into a pool because they know it's there?
In my experience, most pools in the backyard have privacy fences, right? For those reasons that they want to barricade their pool, they want that privacy, and therefore my kids don't see it. They don't have the access, or other similar kids in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. For sure this time. The next person I have is Jason White. And next will be Nikki White. All right, just to give you a heads up. Yes, sir, if you share with us your address, please.
Jason White, 512 Lakeshore Drive. I live directly across from the applicant, downhill from the applicant. All right. Good evening, board members. My name is Jason White. I reside at 512 Lakeshore Drive, directly across the street from and downhill from the applicant's property. Our primary concern with this variance request is flooding. The proposed pool and deck would add over 1,200 square feet of non-pervious surface, which will significantly increase stormwater runoff towards our property. We already experience drainage challenges, and Seminole County has previously had to redesign our driveway, add swales, and enlarge storm drains to manage the water flow. Even with those improvements, we continue to experience flooding after heavy rains. I'm very concerned that this additional impervious area will worsen those conditions and potentially lead to flooding inside our home. We're also concerned about the aesthetics, our neighborhood character. From our front yard, front porch, and even our dining room table, we would have a clear view of this proposed pool. This would essentially turn our view into someone's backyard, diminishing the appearance and the harmony of our street. In addition, according to Realtor.com, a neighboring property that is considered an eyesore or that fails to meet zoning standards could reduce surrounding property values 15 to 25%. Even using this lower figure of 15%, that potential loss in value is significantly greater than what the applicant has invested in this pool project. This variance, if approved, could therefore cause measurable financial harm to the adjacent homeowners. Lastly, the applicant is a professional pool contractor who should be fully aware of all zoning setbacks. In fact, he has previously commented to me that he was unable to build a pool on his lot due to these setbacks. Setback limitation. This is not a case of a homeowner hiring a contractor, being told the project was possible, and only later discovering it violated zoning rules. This pool contractor, who knows the regulations and is now attempting to push a pool through in his front yard despite those restrictions. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the board to deny this variance, request to protect the neighboring properties, preserve the neighborhood character, and prevent further flooding impacts. Thank you for your consideration.
Mr. White, just a quick question that popped in my head is you were discussing adding additional impervious surfaces, which is a fair point, but then if we look at the totality of the project, doesn't the pool itself act as a bit of a small retention pond?
No, it's going to be full of water. How's it going to have any water capacity?
To the top?
No. Think of a pool. The water line's like 4 inches under the top of the pool, so you might have a couple hundred gallons of capacity.
There we go.
Well, what-
I guess-
I mean, like, we had rains last night. Luckily, last night, I was out in the middle of the night, clearing my drain in my driveway. You know, Lake County, Brevard got 14 inches. I think we only got 1.7 inches, but I still had to go out there and clear my drain because everything flows down. You see the pictures of my house. I'm down a big hill. It was designed in 1950. It was out of our control. It's down a hill. All the water down Magnolia flows down Magnolia like a river down our driveway. And this Roads and Bridge went out there, had to redesign my whole driveway. And there's work orders proving that, stuff that with the county.
I believe it, absolutely. Gentlemen, any questions for Mr. White?
Well, my concern was talking about, he was looking at somebody's backyard, in the front yard.
Sir.
But the nature of the foliage, the plants, whatever they
Well-
build to block is.
That's a point hasn't.
Going to be like they were in, you're looking at their backyard anyway, except it's their front yard. And as the chairman mentioned, we can certainly address exceptions or concerns for,
Well, another concern that wasn't brought up yet is on the plans, the pool's elevated 24 inches above the ground. So it's sitting on a pedestal, 24 inches, so that's why you can't see it now. And there's a construction fence around the house. Well, how can I see, how are we going to see the pool when there's construction netting around the fence, like the pictures that are shown, that black netting? Of course you can't see the pool because there's construction netting. So, and the pool's going to be raised 24 inches above the ground, so you raise that 24 inches above the ground, now if somebody's 6 foot standing on there is going to be 8 foot up. How big is this fence going to be? It's going to like block the view from my house.
Mr. White, let me pick up on something you said. Ms. Hamel, and I'm sorry if this is an unfair question to catch you flat-footed. Is that accurate that this pool deck will be 24 inches above grade?
I can't confirm that, sir.
Okay.
We sent-
We'll have a rebuttal. We'll
We
ask
sent the
applicant.
plans to you, as clearly stated. We highlighted on the next, my wife's speaking, she has it highlighted, it's 24 inches above grade.
Gotcha.
Yep, and it's not a regular pool. Like I said, I'd be understanding if somebody
And I'm
wanted to
sorry,
smoke.
we're at our time limit there.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
all
sir.
right, no more questions.
But thank you for your time. Unless, Mr. Evans, you had a question?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
We'll let you all tag team to Mrs. White. Mr. Mullins, you're next. Hi there, would you share with us, please, your name and address for the record, please?
Yes. My name is Nikki White. I live at 512 Lakeshore Drive. I have an extra copy if you guys wanted to see
Please.
that. There's actually 2 copies. Is that speaker on? May I use that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I believe installing a pool in the front yard would significantly alter the visual character of our street and our neighborhood. From our perspective, it would feel like we were continuously looking into someone's private backyard. Front yards are typically open landscape spaces that can contribute to the curb appeal and unify our community. Our property is approximately 6 feet below the applicant, and we have already experienced challenges of rain-off water running into our garage and flooding it. The addition of the 2-foot, I'm sorry, them talking behind me, and we've already received a message from their daughter that was threatening is
No,
really irritating.
let's not go into that, but please, let's treat other people as we want to be treated. Take your time.
Sorry. Approximately, we're 6 feet down from the applicant, and we have already experienced, I've already read that, I'm sorry. The addition of the 2-foot elevated 55 square foot pool and approximately 700 square feet of impervious pool deck that wasn't shown on the plans would enhance the issue and increase the risk of erosion, flooding, or water intrusion on our property and home. Granting this variance could open the door for similar requests throughout the neighborhood and beyond the community. It may weaken the integrity of the zoning regulations designed to preserve the neighborhood's characteristics and protect our property value. Once a variance of this nature is approved, it becomes more difficult to deny future applicants. Our neighborhood does not have an HOA, and we rely on our building department and our appointed officials to maintain the standards that have been set in place. A highly visible resort-style pool, not just a pool that everybody wishes to have, but one with additional features such as a 7-foot cascading wall, 2 sun shelves, seems a little extreme and feel more like a community pool. It could become a visual draw for children and passersby, increasing the risk of trespassers or accidents. Unlike rear yards, front yards are typically enclosed or private, making it more difficult. This would make it, being in the front yard, more difficult to secure it and ensure safety.
Mrs. White, I can give you one more minute.
Thank you. We are concerned also that this pool is being built as a showcase piece for their business, rather than a private residential use. If this is the case, it would increase commercial activity in our residential area. Per the zoning, a pool is not allowed in the front yard. This is a corner lot and considered 2 front yards. We request that you deny the applicant for this variance and the project moving forward.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for Mrs. White? Thank you, ma'am.
If you would like to see the pictures of where we are saying that they could put the pool, I'm happy to show them and the square footage.
We would just need you to please share them with the clerk, and then she'll pass them on to us.
Okay. It's 225 or 250 square feet that they could put for a pool.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mullins?
That one and that
Sir, if you could please share your name and address for the record.
Sure. Charles Mullins, 12834 Upper Hardin Avenue.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys. I know this is an impossible situation. There's no winners in this. There's only losers. And, nobody wants to be the bad guy here. Everybody loses, but there are rules. The applicant, they were aware of the rules before. He's a pool builder. He understands setbacks and things of that nature. So the fact that he's asking for a variance now after, submitting an application that they know would violate the rules. This isn't just a regular homeowner who was duped by a pool builder. This is a resident or homeowner that is a pool builder that knows the rules. And if somebody's gonna have to lose here, it should be the person who knows the rules and then violated them knowingly, right? It's not fair to everybody else. And I understand that some people think it's okay, but it's not okay, and there's rules, right? And there is space to build a pool. It's not that there's not space. And when we talk about the front yards, and we keep talking about the 2 front yards, the pool is running alongside their driveway, right? So it's not that it's in one front yard and not the other. It's in both front yards, right? And so it's just really unfair when, they're a professional pool builder, and they bought this house knowing what the lot configuration was, right? And we all buy homes, and we make there's pluses and minuses when we pay for something, right? And when you buy it and you know that there's not capacity for a pool, you buy it knowing that. So it's unfair to now having a professional pool builder come in here, want to build a pool that violates the rules, having purchased a house they knew they couldn't put a pool at, although they can put a pool because there is space in the backyard. It's just really unfair to the people who it directly affects. And I know it's an impossible situation, and people have spent money, hard-earned money, and everybody cares about that, right? But it's not fair for somebody to be able to come in and knowingly violate the rules and then use this forum to say, oops, I'm sorry, it was approved, when it never should have been approved. And it's just, I don't want to go on and on, but I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, any questions for Mr. Mullins? I have Ashley Willis, please. And then Shelby Maddox. No, we did Shelby Maddox already, right? That's it.
All right, my name is
Yes.
Ashley Willis. I'm at 1765 Via Contessa. I'm friends with 512 Lakeshore, the Whites. I visit their home quite often. Our kids have been friends since they've been 18 years old. I do believe their street is already, in my personal opinion, I have a larger car. It's already difficult to navigate. If you put up this extreme foliage because of the way their corner lot is, when I exit the White's driveway, I don't know if you can see it, it has quite a slant up and down due to the water drainage. I usually have to do a three-point turn out of their driveway, and it's very difficult to see when you're going to turn to the corner lot of the Taylor's home to navigate. There are kids coming by on bikes. I wouldn't want any foliage or obstructive views to actually hinder that view already. It's already very difficult, as I said, to navigate. And I do believe pools belong in the backyard. I have a neighbor that has a pool, and I hear them. They have kids, they have teenagers, they have dogs, right? We all want that luxury. But their pool sort of backs up to my backyard, right? And there's noise all hours of the night. You don't want that at your front door, right? Because you can make everything pretty, you can do whatever foliage you want, but when you hear that noise at your front door, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. at night, 9 a.m. in the morning, it sounds a little differently. So I do believe that pools belong in backyards for not only privacy, but also for noise.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Anything else?
All right. Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, thank
Appreciate it. My apologies. Have we done Shelby Maddox?
Yes.
Maddox Shelby. All right. Anyone else in the audience to speak in opposition to the matter? Seeing none, I'll allow the applicant some time for a rebuttal, if you'd like.
Absolutely. We both come up?
Can we both come up?
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
Regarding seeing the pool, the visual, I think we've made that clear that we're happy to work with the county and make it a condition of moving forward with the permit. We're happy to do whatever kind of barrier is appropriate, a fence, bushes, both. The hedges along the edge is fine.
As of right now, we do have a certified aluminum fence that surrounds the front yard anyway right now. So as Shelby was saying about her kids possibly coming to our house, we do have the measurements of the 54 inches for the lock. I mean, once the pool gets built. Right now, yes, there's a construction site, so we do have it kind of matched off because I do respect my neighbors, and we're trying to build this without showing them such a mess. But now we've been delayed, so I do respect them, and we're trying to, hey, we don't want you to see our mess, so I did put up some of the stuff to kind of hide it, but it's still going to have foliage. They still cannot see the pool from their front yard now, as you saw from the pictures that we've already sent. Staying my lanai in the backyard is for a pool, so am I just supposed to open my back door and walk right into a pool? Like that's my lanai. There's not enough room for a pool back there, so that roofed-in area is like basically, as soon as we walk out the door, that's where we, have our grill and stuff like that. Either way, there's no way I can put a pool there. There's not enough room.
And regarding the setbacks and us knowingly I think they said we knowingly tried to put a pool past the county. When we build a pool in any jurisdiction, we call the jurisdiction and we ask for setbacks and restrictions. We did that in this case. Then we had our pool engineered and we submitted for permitting. It's a double check and balance because we ask for the setbacks and then we submit to permitting for review. We would never, knowing we're professionals, we would never do that. And our daughter certainly would never threaten anyone. That is ridiculous. But
We don't take
I
that into
understand.
account.
I'm sorry, she just brought it up, so I had to. So we did everything by the book. We didn't do anything wrong here. We did not do anything wrong, and we have this massive hole in our yard and all this money we put in, and it's dangerous, and our home is in jeopardy. This is right up against our foundation, and we are happy to put up whatever barriers we will sign, and we will do it. But we're for visual. But
Plus,
this
this
needs
is
to
not
move
going to be a
forward.
show. I'm not bringing people to our house
No.
to show them our pool.
This is our personal pool.
As
Does
a
not have
residential pool,
backyard.
it's not a commercial pool that's going to have people just driving by, stopping and looking at our stuff. I'm not going to have signs out there with our name on it, like, hey, Next Level Pools and Spa party day. That's not how it is. We're respectable homeowners, and we basically Did everything by the book, like we said, and
I mean, you can see by the sheer amount of signatures we have and letters we have in our neighborhood, we have the support of our neighborhood. There are only 2 homes that are against us on this.
Gentlemen, do you have questions for the applicant?
Can we see that early picture that you showed at the front of the house and the
With
Bushes.
the silt screen up there? It's kind of the construction black silt screen, that one?
With the, showing the improvements we would do with the fence and the bushes, showing how it would be.
is that,
No, these
No,
are,
keep going, keep
am I
going.
looking at the same house or a different house?
That was
those
a
are
different
different.
house.
They were
That's all
examples.
drainage
It
where it's
threw me
not-
off.
Yeah, that was an exemplar for
The
what they
one
were
from
going to do.
535, like,
You can't see.
back to the
There
535.
was a picture of the front of the house with like
the AI
shrubbery
renderings.
that covered the.
It's
entire-
Pool Studio, it's not AI, it's what we use to draw. our-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, here we go, there we go. Yep, there we go. So you
Well,
can
there-
see,
well, yeah,
it's
that-
not against the fence, so it's not going to cause, like Ms. Willis was worried about, the traffic to see around it. It's going to be up against the, near the pool area. So as not to be a concern for people
Right, when
going
they
around the
come
corner.
through, they're not going to have an issue.
We'll also have floating alarms, we'll be very
Well,
safe.
As far as the view goes, that type of fence is not going to stop the neighbors from seeing it, but the investment into
But
shrubbery.
we do have one that's
plants or
like more of
whatever.
Hold on,
There you go.
yeah.
that one. There it is. That's what it would look like.
That's a big investment in vegetation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's why we're like, the pool's not finished. I don't have 700 square foot of deck either. It's all going to be sod around my pool. My pool is 18 inches above ground on the driveway side. And as my yard slopes, it does get to 24. But I do have a vanishing edge part where it comes back towards it. And that's where we're going to have our, the water, our drainage. So the pool's never going to overflow. We're going to have a drainage line going out to the ditch. So if it rains, two days straight, it's never going to get above my tile because basically we have a drainage for that. So that's one thing that's never going to happen is the pool's never going to overflow.
Answer your question, Judge?
It helps me understand what we might want to require as far as if we decide to grant it.
Mr. Evans, question?
Yeah, so, just to confirm, and clarify, just because some of the questions were brought up as kind of an attractive nuisance.
Sure.
The pool will be fully enclosed with a locking gate?
It is, yes. Our lot is, right now, I do have a fence up now, an aluminum fence that surrounds my front yard and side yard already. So where the pool's going in the side yard, that's already protected. The fence is down now, obviously, because, we started this project. And once it's put back up, it's just going to be like, hypothetically, like a commercial pool, 54-inch latches. And I understand that one of the things Shelby was worried about her children, that is not going to be an issue. I know they have a person that lives right next door to them with a pool that doesn't have a wooden fence, and, that's like you're literally right next door to them. Their corner lot, there's 2 other corner lots, but they both already have pools. Their corner lot doesn't have the 25-foot setback like we would have room where ours is. They wouldn't have enough room to put a pool there. So in our neighborhood, our lot is like
It's
the
unique.
only unique lot that we can do that. I never told anybody that I wasn't able to put a pool in my yard. As a pool builder,
Except the backyard.
Yeah, like in the backyard, there's no room for a pool.
Is
So
this going to have a screen around the pool as well as your shrubberies?
yeah, so we already have kind of like landscaping now. You can see one of the
You got the
videos.
landscaping
Yeah.
on the outside, which protects the neighbors from having to look at your pool.
Sure.
But the second thing, in the safety of the children, I never take away from that. That's always an issue.
Absolutely.
The question is you going to have a screened in over the pool as well?
Oh, screen enclosure over the pool?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's an open pool.
But we will have floating alarms in the pool and the spa per
Those are my question.
code.
The answer is no.
Yes,
And a
sir.
You're not-
fence.
You're not planning to screen in the pool?
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
no
no
screen
screen.
enclosure. We're not doing any kind of decking. Like I said, it's the pool, then around the pool is all sod. We want to, we don't really need decking, so we're going to put some nice landscaping in and some nice sod, and so we don't have to have any
But the
any
sod
impervious.
doesn't protect the children from falling in
Oh.
as a
Oh, no,
pool
yes,
enclosure
yes.
would, yeah.
Yes, our outside fence right now is up to code for a pool. The inside fence, what we could put up would be basically just hide it from the neighbors. and anybody driving by.
Again, you understand my question is the secondary issue in regards to safety.
Yes, sir.
And the pool enclosure, screens and so forth would be, I think, in my opinion, would be.
Yes, sir.
Would add to the safety.
Absolutely.
The concerns I heard a neighbor say. So you get the view and you get the safety, okay.
We definitely got to do the safety. That's, we're professionals. We know that's a big thing trust me, we don't want any children getting in our yard that's not supposed to. Our neighbors across the street have a little daughter that's going to be like our number one priority is swimming in this pool, having her birthday parties, it's definitely going to be protected no matter what from any any indoor people coming in from the outside, children, adults, anybody. They're not going to basically get into our pool.
We have adults that struggle to get in our gates right now. They're not easy to open, and they're high, so.
Amazon throws their packages in my yard because they can't even get in.
That's
So,
right, open the
and it's going to be more protected than that, so.
Let me ask you as a last question,
Yes.
and then we'll go ahead and close up the floor, is, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, your response to the comment that being pool professionals, as you had said a few moments ago, as professionals, and I take you as professionals, that you should be held to a higher standard. I mean, I understand the consequences of the unfortunate mistake by the building department. These things happen sometimes, and I'm sorry you guys are dealing with that.
Yes.
But still, that you should be held to a higher standard as to what you're applying for, what you're hoping to do,
Yes.
especially when you purchase a property as compared to the average citizen.
Yes.
We've lived there for 20 years. Unfortunately, we didn't anticipate 20 years.
I wasn't
more
building
than
pools 20 years ago.
Yes, that we would want a pool, but
That's it.
Well, I'm glad to hear, I did not know that you'd been there for 20 years. and-
Yes, we've been, we've been there for a very long time. And we do call for setbacks on every lot, like in Seminole County, like when we build pools, we call them, get the setbacks. We do that. I design the pools by the setbacks, turn it in, and that's when we got the permit from you guys. Then we basically got the permit, and basically after that, then we got started.
we have a double check and balance system, the calling for the setbacks
Mm-hmm.
and then submitting for the permitting for the review process. That's how we've always, in every jurisdiction, to build a pool.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And with
Thank
that,
you
we
guys
will-
for your time.
Certainly. With that, we will close the floor.
Thank you.
Perhaps what we could do, gentlemen, is entertain a motion and then have a discussion. So the chair will entertain if either of you have a proposed motion.
I move to approve the project with discussion, because I do think we will need to discuss, at least from my motion, I believe it has to be contingent upon a locking mechanism for the outside fence and for abatement for the visual. So, motion to approve, am I allowed to open it just for discussion on that, or do I have to?
Well, you'll make your motion, and then we'll have a discussion.
Okay, all right, then
And
move
and
to
if you could
approve.
maybe do me a favor, as I'm taking notes, I hear a motion to approve contingent on a locking mechanism and visual abatement. Would I be understanding you fairly to say visual abatement
Meaning
and
the
and
landscaping.
fencing to that which complies with the land development code?
Of course, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
And I
So-
would have added on to that.
Judge, do you have a second?
Second.
We have a second,
with the
okay, so-
conditions of the safety and the viewing and so forth.
Mr. Evans, it's your motion. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the weirder projects that have come before me since I've been on this board, which is lesser times than both of these sirs. But for me, I mean, this is a very unique home, particularly on its situation. I mean, I'm a realtor professional. Like, I don't see homes that have a 0 lot line on the northern border. And if I did, they are definitely not built within the last 3 decades. So this really, truly, I mean, you know, I put a patio in my backyard that was 250 square feet, and I put a hot tub on it. It was an 8-person hot tub, a gigantic hot tub.
You never invited me over.
It broke before I was appointed by the commissioner. But it took up the entire length and really the entire usage of this small patio that I had added to my home. And for them, I mean, to know that they only have that, and then there'd be an additional issue to even get something back there and construct. I mean, truly, in my eye, and I came in, I mean, reading the motion, I was like, no, this is an obvious silly, we don't put pools in front yards. And then, you know, you have to read through and come at this with a very objective mind. And I personally don't see another place they could put it. And I think for me, the discussion that I would love to hear you gentlemen as well is, you know, is there sort of an implied right to even have a pool to a home? And so, I mean, that's also where this one becomes tricky and difficult. You know, the arguments that were brought as negatives in opposition are very, you know, they're certainly very reasonable and objectionable concerns. You know, just the concern of what constitutes a pool in a front yard and why is that acceptable. But I think this situation is unique enough, being such an old neighborhood. I was looking at the maps of all the homes and the plats. All of these homes are on basically zero lot lines. You know, they're adjacent to their neighbors for much of it. And yeah, I do move to approve on that notion. You know, I certainly think we need to protect our neighborhoods and the sanctity of the neighborhood as best we can, not living there, you know, and that's how we can consider with vegetation and fencing as appropriate. But I think at the end of the day, the homeowners here have a unique problem. And, you know, unless we surmise that not every home has an implied issue to have a pool, and in that case, they may just have to move. I mean, really here, that's the uniqueness that I think we're dealing with on this. So, but I would open that to you all.
Judge, your thoughts?
I heard somebody express the concern, well, if we allow them this exception and they are allowed to build that pool, then everybody else is going to want one. Well, excuse me, but this is America, and everybody wants what they want, and I think we have an opportunity to view it, discuss it, and if other neighbors later on want to take advantage, well, so be it. But they've obviously spent time planning and money, and anybody else who wants to do the same is going to have to spend time planning and money, and I'm not certain what the wealth or non-wealth of the neighborhood is, but I don't think everybody and their brother is going to jump on it, but they have certainly the right to do it, and I don't see that as an exception to stop it.
You know, this is a quandary. We've got folks who, you know, most of the directly affected people are okay with it. We have neighbors who aesthetically and philosophically are opposed to it. I am certainly empathetic to the situation that the homeowners are in. That's a tough spot. But I think when we've got something that's this contested, because a lot of times when, you know, we've got our six-factor test, and when nobody shows up, nobody speaks in opposition, we have a little bit less scrutiny when we review it. But I think we have to be a little bit more strict in our scrutiny when people are discussing their investment-backed expectations when it comes to property rights. And as you all have heard me yammer on about before, I worship at the Church of Property Rights, and I think people have the right to say, I spent money in Seminole County because, amongst other reasons, I like this zoning. I like how the Land Development Code has created my little patch of paradise, and I don't think it's unreasonable for people who think that way to stand on their rights, because those are their rights. And so, my perspective, and of course I have respect for you two, but I would be voting against the motion. And unless you all want to say something else, I'll put it to a vote. So we have from Mr. Evans.
Let me check my notes real quick.
Sure.
Thought that comes to mind, somebody said something about having to drink their coffee and looking at their pool across the street. And the thought that crossed my mind is, how come I'm drinking my coffee over there and not sitting poolside with my neighbor? That was a throwaway line.
All right, we have Mr. Evans's motion to approve, contingent on making sure there is a locking mechanism and a fence and visual abatement, all in a manner that are consistent with the Seminole County Land Development Code. Did I get that right? So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. It passes. And so those of you in opposition, anyone who wants to bring an appeal, I think it's 15 days, Mr. McHugh?
Correct.
Certainly,
15 days.
and after the meeting, staff can help you through that process. Does the board the board mind if we took maybe 5 minutes for a quick little water break? We've been doing this for an hour now.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a few more things. Folks, we'll take a 5 minutes. Please take conversation. I'm just yammering on away here, and I apologize to everyone in the audience. I'm sorry. Is staff ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right. With that, we will go back on the record with item
Got it.
2.
You, and when I get done, mine.
And Ms. Gates, you have the floor. No rush, when you're ready.
Oh, sorry. Item, for the record, Angie Gates, item number 2 is a request for a north side yard setback variance from 7.5 feet to 3 feet, and 2, a height variance from 9.5 feet to 13 feet for a detached garage in the R1A Single Family Dwelling District in the Sunland Estates subdivision located at 613 Mimosa Terrace. The proposed detached garage will be 432 square feet and will encroach 4.5 feet into the required north side yard setback. A letter of support was received from the adjacent neighbor to the north located at 615 Mimosa Terrace. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Ms. Gates, I very much hate to correct you on this because you're right 99.9% of the time, but that support came from the southerly neighbor.
Let me just take a look here.
I only know just because I saw their letter and I plugged it in. Because on our map, we've got green to the south, so no big deal. Just correct. I'm being a record pedant. I'm sorry.
Well, 615 is to the south.
Uh-huh.
And was 610? Or what was the?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe I don't know. There's 611 to the north. Goodness, are we both going to be wrong?
615. It says 615.
6:15.
No big deal. We just discussed that. We can move on. Yeah, sorry. I feel guilty now. I apologize.
That's okay. You keep me on my toes. And
Gentlemen, any questions for staff that actually makes sense? All right. Is the applicant here? Come on. Anything you want to add, sir? If you do, come on down. Are you Mr. Centillo?
Alvarez.
Oh, I'm
Alvarez,
sorry.
yeah.
All right. If you give us your name and address, please.
613 Jorge Alvarez, 613 Mimosa Terrace. So when I bought the house, I couldn't afford a garage and a pool, so I chose the house with a pool. But here I am now trying to get a small garage built on the side of my house. And I had the designs and everything, like, what I'm using, what company, all the plans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I submitted.
Sounds good. Gentlemen, or am I interrupting you?
No, that's it.
Any questions for the applicant? Did you chat with your neighbor, I guess facing your house to the left?
I did talk to both of them.
Okay.
The other gentleman's a little hard. I talked to him verbally. He's like, hey, I put up the sign. I let my whole neighbors know. The other side, the one that you guys were right, is in the other side. He was the one who sent the letter. He lives in Massachusetts, so he's not. He's like, I wish I can make it, but I'm just gonna give you the letter. But my other neighbor, he said he's okay with it, and like I said, I put up the sign that if anybody had concerns, everybody seemed okay with it, and so that's why I'm.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Anyone here to speak in opposition to it? Seeing none. Gentlemen, your pleasure.
Move to accept.
We have a motion to approve from the judge. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Enjoy, sir.
Thank you so much.
Number 3, please.
Item number 3 is a request for a northwest side yard setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet, and 2, a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 0 feet for a pole barn in the A1 Agricultural District in the Seminole Estates Unit 2 subdivision located at 5651 Deer Path Lane. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Seeing none, is the applicant here? Anything y'all would like to add to the record? Okay. Do you guys have questions for the applicant? All right. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Seeing none, anyone here in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen.
Move to approve?
Mr. Evans has moved to approve. You second, Judge?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Enjoy your barn. Number 4, please.
Item number 4 is a request for 3 variances located on vacant lot 76 on Emmett Avenue. The first request is for a south front yard setback variance from 50 feet to 25 feet, and 2, an east side street setback variance from 50 feet to 19 feet, and 3, a west side yard setback variance from 10 feet to 7.5 feet for a single-family dwelling in the A1 Agricultural District. The subject property is in the Town of Sylvan Lake subdivision and is a legal lot of record. The Town of Sylvan Lake plat was recorded in 1914 prior to the Seminole County Land Development Code being adopted. At that time, all lots were 7,500 square feet. The adoption of the countywide zoning in 1960 subsequently rendered the lot non-conforming with respect to the minimum A1 zoning dimensional and setback requirements, thereby creating a hardship. The proposed single-family dwelling will be approximately 1,800 square feet and will encroach 25 feet into the required south front yard setback, 31 feet into the required east side street setback, and 2.5 feet into the required west side yard setback. The requested setbacks are similar to the R1B zoning district setbacks. Staff believes that variances allowing setbacks like those in the R1B zoning district would be the minimum variances to make reasonable use of that land. On June 25th, 2007, the Board of Adjustment approved the following variances for a single-family dwelling on this lot. A lot size variance from 43,560 square feet to 7,500 square feet, and a width at building line variance from 150 feet, and a front yard setback variance from 50 feet to 25 feet, and a side street setback variance from 50 feet to 10 feet. On September 11th, 2007, the Board of County Commissioners overturned the Board of Adjustment's decision to approve the 4 variances, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Seeing none, is the applicant here? Yes, sir. If you give us your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Zachary Miller at 8241 Via Bonita Street in Sanford. Ms. Angie is correct. The current zoning is A1, and with this being a parcel of record dating back to 1915, you said, it has always been that parcel, never been owned or combined with another parcel in my recent knowledge. We do have a couple of things to show you, if you don't mind. I've got a sort of a signature board of the immediate surrounding homeowners that are in favor of this. Should I give this to Angie, or let me take a picture of it real quick just to make sure because I forgot to make a copy. So I also have, there was some question as to whether this fits the context of the surrounding neighborhood. The surrounding neighborhood, most of them are less than 1 acre, which is the minimum for an A1. In fact, there are several that are, I'm going to give you this too, Jim. There are several parcels that actually are about the same size, if not, there's actually one that was built smaller in 2009, which was prior to our previous approval. And it's built, done, they live in it. I think it's 50 by 120. So it's even smaller than what we're proposing. And obviously they got a variance to build on as well. So, but short of that, I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, any questions for the applicant? Applicant's representative? All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Is there anyone in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Anyone here to speak? I know we have at least, to speak in opposition, Rebecca Abbott? Yes, please, come on down. And if you would please just share your address for the record.
Sure. So my name is Rebecca Abbott, and actually our address is 1796 Emmett Avenue, so we're the house that's right behind it, but it's under construction. So right now we have a P.O. box because we've been currently living in the Bahamas. So we're moving back the end of this year. So that is our house, right? So as you can tell, the way, it was my husband that had, we purchased this lot back in 2006, and then in 2007, this was brought to the board, and then my husband went and had it appealed through the commissioners, and it got completely, they denied this. So based on that and what happened in 2007, because we have the next 6 lots back behind it, and as you can see, our house is turned sideways, and we built it that way because we knew he could not build at that point. So we have been building for a long time. It is an owner builder. My husband is actually building the house himself, and we actually, out of all these years, he just finished HVAC, got that inspection approved a couple weeks ago. We are moving back at the end of this year, and we were hoping to move into it within the next probably 3 to 6 months. So even though it's been the longest, it was interesting timing that this all came up, and glad we actually saw it and were in town to be able to see it. So my husband's concerns, he would have been here, but he had to head back because we were here, but then he had to head back. And so he asked me to come. His concerns were where he has the driveway coming in, there's power poles there. And all the utilities run underneath. My husband is a civil engineer, actually working right now down in the Bahamas on power plants. So he gets involved in a lot of, and like I said, he is actually the owner, builder, engineer on record for this home. And so, you know, he said that's in the alley is where they have the utilities underground. They have power poles, so he's not sure how that's going to work. This is completely out of character for the neighborhood. This literally, when my husband presented it to the Board of Commissioners, literally at that time, put on paper how this house would be almost just right next to the road. So very out of character for the neighborhood. There is one other home, and again, I apologize, it's my husband that knows all the details, but from what I'm remembering, the house that they possibly were talking about was one that's set back. It's not actually on the road like he's like he's proposing. When we purchased this lot back in 2006, Mr. Gardner is who we were bidding against on this particular property, because we owned the next 6 lots behind it, and he owned that first one. So it would have made sense for him to have the whole piece. We, again, at that time, tried to purchase it from him, but he was not willing. And so at that point, we turned our house sideways and built based upon what was approved back in 2007. So again, we're not even facing our house toward the road, we're facing it sideways. So a lot of things that we decided to go ahead and construct based on what had happened. If not, we would ask if this is approved for him, for that to be approved for us too, for the next 6 lots. So if we need to tear our house down and then redevelop it, we'll have to do that, because for us, it really devalues our property if he puts this home right in the front of our property. So it was just uniquely done. You have Second Avenue, which could be built right there. Right now, that is not a paved road. But like I said, our house faces Second Avenue, not Emmett Avenue.
All right, gentlemen, questions for Ms. Abbott? Thank you, ma'am.
Sure, thank you.
Anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, Mr. Miller, if you would like, out of fairness, I'll let you have a rebuttal, especially pleased to that power issue.
Do you want it on a certain slide?
No, actually, what you have there, Andy, go back, Angie, to the,
This one?
so you can see, well, I can't reach, but I'm close.
If you can't reach.
You see the power pole that's in front of the alleyway. I'm more happy to change the driveway to the Second Street side. I'm happy with that, if that's what needs to be proposed. I don't have a problem with that at all. It was what we proposed before. I know you're not granting where my driveway goes or anything like that. That's a building department issue. We're talking about setbacks. If I go with the front yard, what I did before, because we have an alleyway there, I thought it'd be nice to utilize the alleyway that's there. If the power pole is in the way, happy to put the driveway on the Second Street side. Miss Abbott's house was permitted in 2009. They've taken 16 years to get to the HVAC. If they've made decisions based on an additional parcel, that's really not of our concern.
Gentlemen, questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir. All right, we'll close the floor then and entertain a motion.
Seconded.
We have a motion to accept from Judge Bravo, second by Mr. Evans. Is there anything you feel like you guys want to chat about?
I feel like we should.
Please, you start off.
Trying to kind of gather where I'm at. So, I think, we always, I mean, you said it in the last, item 1, whenever there is friction, we have a duty to go a little deeper and try to make sure we're doing everything right by everybody. And the friction I think we have here is certainly like ingress, egress. They have issues on, their actual cultural feel of where they situated their building. But on the same time, we have a uniquely individual lot that, again, I mean, it just doesn't meet the 2025 culture of Seminole County. So we're kind of making do with what we got. And I don't know, I felt like there just should be a little extra discussion on that. Do you all have any opinions, thoughts?
Any thoughts? No. I think the only thing that I would share, and I think you're making fine and valid points, is when we're looking at a parcel of record, and I think that's something that kind of throws a curveball into the analysis in the sense that this thing is too small for today's Seminole County, but it was created in Seminole County before the Land Development Code, and I think it's a reflection of that as to why staff is recommending approval, and I have a lot of respect for that, and I think I give a lot of deference to that, and that's, I think I'd be voting in favor of the judge's motion, which unless you all want to chat some more, I'll go ahead and put it to the vote.
No, I think we're okay. I mean, I'm okay. Let me say that.
All right, so we have Judge Bravo's motion to approve. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, enjoy. Number 5.
Thank you. Number 5, Mary Robinson for the record. This is a request for an accessory structure size variance from 1,600 square feet to 2,500 square feet in the A1 agricultural zoning district. The subject property is located in the Seminole Estates subdivision at 5724 Michelle Lane. The proposed accessory structure, like I said, is 2,500 square feet, a 900 square foot increase over what is allowed. The Land Development Code permits an accessory structure of 1,600 square feet based on the living area of the home, which is 3,200 square feet. The applicant is proposing to use the structure for personal storage. There haven't been any prior variances on the property. There are 2 letters of support that were submitted in the application, one from the president of the HOA and the second from the neighbor to the west of the property. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for the staff? Seeing none, is the applicant here? Anything you'd like to add, sir? I do have a quick question, if you'd come on down, please. And if you'd share with us your name and address, please, for the record.
My name is Ryan Mays. I live at 5724 Michelle Lane.
Sir, my question is, staff was saying that the purpose of the application was a shed for storage. And I'm looking at the letter from Jennifer Schumacher, one of your neighbors in support, and the letter is saying that you're building it for a shop.
Yes, the latter is more correct.
Okay.
I mean, it's, the old saying, if you have more space, you're going to fill it up with something. So that's kind of, I mean, it could be some storage in there. But we do have some animals, and I'm going to park a skid steer in there and a tractor, and mostly agricultural stuff is going to go in there.
But you're not like running a business or
No,
no
not
one's
at all.
living in there or
No,
anything like
no,
that?
no.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you bet.
Gentlemen, questions while I've dragged them up here?
Looks like it's pretty
Mr.
good.
Evans? No. All right, thank you, sir.
That was what I had.
Anyone here to speak in support of the matter? Seeing none. Anyone here to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Almost literally none. We have a motion from Judge Bravo to approve, second from Mr. Evans. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, enjoy, sir. Number 6.
Yes, thank you. Number 6 is a request for a front yard setback variance from 25 feet to 5 feet for a 6-foot fence in the R1 single-family dwelling district. The property is located in the Whitcomb's first and second addition to Geneva subdivision at 194 Pine Street. This property is a corner lot and as such is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Pine Street, and the side street is Second Street. The variance is being sought on the Pine Street frontage. The proposed privacy fence is 18 feet from the edge of the paved road. There are 3 letters of support that have been received from abutting neighbors on the north and east, and a neighbor across Pine Street to the south. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility, and there have not been any prior variances for the subject property.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Ms. Robinson, did I read the paperwork correctly? Never a sure thing that this proposed fence is going to go right into the footprint of the existing fence?
That's what they've stated, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant here? Anything you'd like to add, sir? If you'd give us your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I am Michael Moran. I live at 2246 Spring Creek Circle Northeast in Palm Bay. I'm here on behalf of my mom who owns the property. My parents purchased this property about 20 years ago, and there was no fence at the time. And they quickly realized that they got a lot of headlights coming in from the adjacent post office on the other side of Pine Street. So my dad, as I've now found out, without a permit, went and built the fence 20 years ago. I think it was 2004. The fence has stood for those 20 years. As far as I know, we've received no complaints from any neighbors. No one has any issue with where it is or the new white vinyl fence going in the same location. We've never received anything from the county to take the fence down. So as far as we're concerned, we're just hoping to keep what has been for 20 years and just replace it with a newer looking fence in the same location.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Seeing none, anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen?
Move to approve.
Mr. Evans moves to approve. Judge seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Wish you folks good luck with that. Number 7.
Yes, this is a request for a front yard setback variance from 25 feet to 15 feet for a single-family dwelling in the R1 Single Family Dwelling District. The subject property is located in the North Chuliota subdivision and consists of lots 17 through 19, is currently vacant, and so it does not have an address. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards. For setback purposes, the front of the proposed home faces 2nd Street, and that is where the variance is being sought. The site is a triangular-shaped lot and faces County Road 419 to the north. Variance is being sought to construct a single-family home. There have not been any prior variances on the property, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff?
I've got a couple.
Mr. Evans?
Really quickly, I didn't look at it on the property appraiser, but what is the size of this triangle lot? Like acreage?
I'd have to look at the property appraiser's record for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now as well. What makes this not a unique parcel? Sometimes you all do recommend to move forward on unique issues.
It's .24 acres.
So it is quarter, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I...
So what makes it, I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so with the dual front yards, having the 2 corner lots and being that triangle shape on a busy thoroughfare, why isn't this considered a unique shape in the building department's kind of opinion?
Well, it meets the area requirements for the zoning and the width requirements for the zoning. So it is unique in that it's triangular shape, but it does meet the current zoning standard for the lot width and area.
So Commissioner Evans, if I can add on to what Mary just said, is that
Please.
when we're looking at this, we're looking at what is the minimum variance to make reasonable use of the property. They could put a house on this piece of property. They can put a 2-story house and be able to have the same square footage. So that's what we look at. Are we taking away from the actual potential use of the site? We believe on this
Okay.
site that they have the ability to build a house without the variance.
Okay, so in your opinion, there was a reasonable alternative
Yes, sir.
that doesn't exist on some of the other issues we might have. Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
And it looks like there's only one side, which is the smaller part of the triangle, where there's a property. The rest is the street and then just foliage. So how close are they going to be to that house?
Ms. Robinson, how close would this prospective house be to the neighbor to the west, please?
7.5.
Or we can ask the applicant that.
Well, that would be 7.5-foot side yard setback on that side.
There you go, 7.5 feet.
So it will be 15 feet because the neighbor requires 7.5 feet and they require 7.5 feet. So from the actual structure to this proposed structure, it would be 15 feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with the line in the middle.
Any other questions for staff? Is the applicant here? Yes, sir. Anything you'd like to add?
Unless y'all have questions.
You'll have questions for the applicant? Mr. Evans?
Yeah.
Come on down. We've grilled everybody tonight.
That's right.
Just tell us, please, your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Rhett Wilson at 27546 State Road in Geneva.
So, one of this is a quarter acre lot. Obviously setbacks make it difficult because triangles are not the best shapes to play with. But why couldn't you do a 2-story? Why was the reasonableness to go with a single story?
Yeah, absolutely. As a builder, we find a lot of people not enjoying 2-story homes, so we try to make everything single story. It opens the market for myself, who'll be living in this home for 2 years, possibly 3 years, and truly just not wanting a two-story home.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Seeing none. Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen.
Move to approve.
Seconded.
Judge Bravo moves to approve. Mr. Evans seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, enjoy, sir. Last but not least, number 8.
Yes, thank you. This is a request for a rear yard setback variance from, oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead to Jay's. Let me go back up. Skipped over, sorry.
Good evening. For the record, Jalia Moreno, Planning and Development. Item number 8 is a variance request for a Lot 2, Alexander Avenue, located in the Lockhart subdivision. The request is for a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 20 feet for a single-family residence in the Lockhart subdivision. The request is to construct an 1,800 square feet single-family residence encroaching 10 feet into the 30-foot rear yard setback. The rear of the property abuts an alley. They have not been prior variances for the subject property. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Gentlemen, questions for staff? 2 questions I have. Do we know, is this a parcel of record?
Yes.
It is, okay. If you said, I'm sorry, I missed that. And also, the applicant states in their response to the questions that if we don't approve them tonight, the parcel is undevelopable. Does staff share that conclusion? Or if that's not a fair question, I recognize that.
Is that in the variance criteria?
Right.
Let's see.
For this, yes, they could build a smaller home on this piece of property, but what we're looking at is the overall neighborhood. What is the reasonable use of the property? And does the board consider what they're requesting a reasonable use?
Oh, I'm with you. I'm just curious
Yeah.
as to whether staff agreed with that conclusion, and I've got it. Very good. Is the applicant here? Any of y'all back there, the applicant? We just have visitors, okay. We have no applicant.
Now, you can all vote in absentia. That's the applicant does not, of course, we need to put a good faith effort to have the applicant present, and it's more ideal to have the applicant or a representative of the applicant present, but it's not a mandate. So if it's the pleasure of the board to vote on this tonight, you may, or if you feel it more necessary to push it to a date certain, then that's an option as well. Just as a reminder, though, we don't have a meeting next month because the holiday. We have one meeting in December.
1st.
So we have one more meeting this year. So just for your own edification.
Gentlemen, I'll follow your lead, but I'm happy to go forward with it.
Move to approve.
All right, Judge Bravo. Well, real quick, let me go through my propers here. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of the matter? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition to the matter? Seeing none. Judge Bravo has moved to approve. Mr. Evans has seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. It succeeds. Ghost applicant. That is our regular agenda. We now move on to the minutes. Did y'all have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes,
And if
sir.
so, I'll entertain a motion thereon.
Motion to approve the minutes from last month?
Do you have a second, Judge? All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else y'all want to chat about? Let's go home.
Let's.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.